Hey guys, Preston Bill, Comic Book University. And how will the world end? Will it be in cataclysm? Will it be in plague? Will it be in solipsism? These are the questions that are answered in All-Star Batman, issue number 9. Guys, this is just some of the dialogue from a very, very great dialogue comic. I don't even know how to describe just how enamored I am with the dialogue that's in this. The writing, it's Scott Snyder. You know what? Let's just end it at that. You could say there's a 0, like really bad, or there's a 5, it's pretty okay, or there's a 10, meaning it was pretty much perfect, or there's Scott Snyder level. All right, let's just keep it at that. Guys, this is just one of those comics where you read and it's teamed up with Jacques. Now, under normal circumstances, I would say this is a really good thing, but we're not looking at trees here. We're not looking at witches here. What we're looking at is a comic that there are some parts in here which, you're not really going to get unless you are a really long time Batman fan or Ra's al-Ghul fan. Yes, Ra's al-Ghul is the main enemy of this, which is the end of the Cursed Wheel. We knew, however, that Ra's al-Ghul was going to be the main enemy because, if you kind of saw my Detective Comics 954 review, the one that just came out last week, it actually revealed who the main bad guy was in it. And I didn't even think about it when I was doing it because, he was the main bad guy in there and he'd come back and apparently he had just gotten finished dealing with this. And he says at one point that, oh, hey, you uncovered my last big plot also. You walked into that. So, wow. And then the sub-note was this was revealed in All-Star Batman number 9. And I just... it completely blew past me that comic hadn't actually released yet. So, wow, good job. And we have to blame the editors at DC for this. Epic fail. Fail on the epic scale, my peeps. All right, so basically what happens in this comic, though, is that, yes, the main bad guy in all of this that's been happening in All-Star Batman, it was all the plot of Ra's al-Ghul, and he's got plan within plan within plan. And Batman seems to come out on top just for a little while because Ra's tries to take a sniper shot at Batman and blow the wheel off of his bike and send him flying, but it wasn't actually Batman. Now, there are very few people who could have pulled off the stunts to not die on that. Batman would have just had to eat that damage. Much like Moon Knight, bang, bang, bang. I got hurt really bad. Okay, dust myself off and limp my way up to the top of this tower and try and go after Ra's. But the trick is that there are people who have a lot more acrobatic skills. One of them is Nightwing. The other one is the Black Cat. And it was actually the Black Cat who was in the motorcycle voice modulator to change her voice to sound like Bruce's. Yeah, so that was a really cool little trick, and it threw Ra's off a little bit. The trick is that this is our Batman. No, this is not the super Batman who's able to take down Superman with a little tiny ring of kryptonite without a problem and maybe a little help from Green Arrow or something like that even. No, this is the Batman who is capable of getting hurt, who could potentially lose some teeth if he's hit hard enough. You wouldn't know that from reading Batman number 21 out this week, but, nonetheless, this is a very vulnerable Batman who is just smarter than you. And that's why he wins, because he's smarter than you, because he already thought ahead, 10 steps ahead, the ultimate chess player, smarter than you. So that is how he wins, because everything that Ra's was thinking to do, Batman already did ahead of him and disguised it well enough that Ra's didn't realize that he had done it. Now, the only thing that would have made this better is if he would have said at the end, I just wanted to see if you could be a good person, Ra's. That's why I allowed you to believe all these things that you thought I was going to believe. That's why I played into your hand, but I just wanted to see if you were going to be a good guy and maybe show some mercy. But you couldn't. That would have probably been the ultimate caveat to this, the cherry on top. That would have just, I would have exploded with glee to see that's what the main thing that Batman was trying to do. But I didn't really get that. Instead, I just got Batman doing his typical, ha. And Ra's saying, well, I'm out of here. And there were these demons in there that, quite frankly, I'm not used to seeing. So I actually had to look up these bat-like creatures. Okay, Bruce called them flying monkeys at one point. Yeah, I was actually shocked to see this. In fact, the way that Jacques' drawing is so much set up that it actually looked like Batman or Bruce was pushed out of a window, and then we saw it being Batman pushed out of the window. That could have been interesting, especially considering how Ross was actually beaten with the cataclysm, the plague, and the solipsism of all things. The idea that the only thing that is sure in life is the self, and we're not sure of anything else. If that were the case, that means that technically I'm not really talking to anyone. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give this comic a B-. This was a lot of fun. This comic by itself was fantastic. I just feel like the setup wasn't as good. Well, actually, I feel like almost the setup was actually better than the finality of this story. I feel like this should have been better. Maybe it could have been a two-parter. It just could have been something else. I needed to see something else. And it just, I don't know. I just feel like, also, to be honest, I'm a little bothered that even before I picked up the comic, I already knew that it was going to be Ross, because I remembered the note. I'm standing in the comic book store. Where's the comic? Okay, bang. Oh yeah, this is the one where he fights Roz. Wait a second. This is the one where we're supposed to find out who the bad guy is. Holy crap. And yeah, so all of it put together, I just feel like it could have been better. It was still great. It delivered hard. I really like seeing Ross drawn this way. This is, I know the cartoony way is what we're used to and we really like it, but this actually is reminiscent of back in the Demon trilogy. This was really good, and I kind of hope to see him drawn this way more in the future. But anyway, guys, so Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.